Greetings, my friends. It is I, Dr. Jimmy, at your service. Who else would it be? Ah, yes. Nice little fizzy drink. Later, in another video, I might have something a bit stronger, but that's later. First, of course, as usual, I must show off the t-shirt of the day. Today's t-shirt celebrates our friends Herman, Lily, Grandpa and Eddie, the Monsters, and of course the Dragula. It reminds me of a Rob Zombie tune. Yes. Of course they are the Universal Classic monsters. Herman is in fact a Frankenstein monster, and Grandpa is Count Dracula himself, which makes Lily Dracula's daughter and Eddie is a little baby wolfman. And in fact, these people were at the very first Horror Nights in Orlando, Fright Nights, back in 1991. They also showed up in 92 and 93 as well in Orlando. They were originally street characters in Hollywood Boulevard and also appeared in a show called Main Stage Madness on the main stage in 91. And in the succeeding years, they tended to hang out around the Bates Hotel, where they did little photo ops and that sort of thing. The Bates Motel, I should say. Ah. Well, my friends. Ooh. Just so happens that we've had another lovely announcement quite recently about upcoming Halloween Horror Nights, of course. What fun. They had a little bit of announcements on the Singapore website, full reveals for a few things, except, of course, we already knew about the scare zones and the show, so really there wasn't anything there we didn't know before. And over in Japan, we know just about the whole thing now. And in Orlando, we have everything, all the houses, all the scare zones, which are being built now, by the way. If you are in Orlando area, you want to swing by Universal Studios Florida and take a look. There's some strange things happening in the streets. But there's one thing left in Orlando they haven't revealed to us yet. The roaming hordes. Mike Coelho has told us there will be roaming hordes and chainsaws. Oh, what fun. But who or what will be wielding those chainsaws? We don't know. Last year, however, we had quite a lot of fun with some clowns with chainsaws, especially in Springfield, USA. So much fun that they tied up with the Evil's Root Scare Zone to be Street of the Year. Hey! Speaking of clowns with chainsaws running amok, that's a good segue. There'll be some of those in Hollywood too this year, apparently. Because the big reveal that's coming up, that came up just the day before yesterday, I think it was. Or was it yesterday? I don't remember. What day is today? It's I think it was yesterday, the big reveal. This is Friday the 26th. I think it was yesterday then. We had the big reveal. And that was the Terror Tram, the one big thing in Hollywood we still didn't know until finally it got released yesterday. What fun! Now, Murdy at Carney had been hinting that the Terror Tram might be the one thing that would be original. You know, all the other mazes would be intellectual properties. The Scare Zone, intellectual property, television programs, motion pictures, that sort of thing. But the Terror Tram would be an original story concept. That's what Murray told us. But then he said, well, it might be a little branded after all. I'm working on it with an entity. What does that mean? I heard one silly person try to fool people by saying that the entity might be an old icon from 2006 as far as Hollywood is concerned. A film director named Ravinsky. I thought that was as far-fetched as anything. Murdy has said icons belong in Orlando, not Hollywood. And why would they do that this year? Because after all, they'll just be repeating the Terror Tram from 2006. Good God. I seem to have hurt myself or something. Blood or something. Ick. That must have scratched a dry spot in it. Got to be careful about that when you get a bit older. Skin, you know, you scratch something, and you're bleeding all over the place. Oh well, never mind. Where was I? Anyway, where was I? Oh yes. Seems that that was not the case at all. Rather, it turns out another rumour, which also been buzzing about, was the correct one. The entity in question is an actual person, a director, but not the director, but a director, great horror film director of modern times, one of the young vanguard of new, hot, well I guess he was new and hot about 10 years ago, but I'm old. Alright, seems young to me. Hot directors named Eli Roth, and in fact, it's Eli Roth presents the Terror Tram this year. What fun. Yes. Now, he seems young to me. He's only in his early 40s, you know. He looks good too. He looks a lot younger than he supposedly is. Sure hell looks better than I do. So, actually, he looks a bit like Zachary Quinto, you know, the fellow who plays Mr. Spock nowadays. It's in the new Star Wars movies, and also was on American Horror Story, the first series, Murder House series, and also was Siler on Heroes. He looks quite a lot like that guy. In fact, enough so that I think sometimes fans see him in the street and they think, oh, it's Zachary Quinto. Can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph? And he'll just actually sign it. But sometimes he might sign all kinds of crazy shit on there because he's a little bit of a rascal, a bit of a rogue, you know. And yeah, he's an interesting fellow. His parents were artists, and they had a sort of avant-garde, laissez-faire way of raising kids. They thought it was perfectly fine to send a kid to an R-rated horror movie when he's just a little tyke, maybe 8 years old. He goes to see The Exorcist in one of those revival houses where they show movies from years ago, you know, again, and so you can see them in an actual film, not just on video. And of course, the kid was blown away by it. Oh my God! And like, you know. Murdy saw The Exorcist as a type too, but I think he had a different reaction than Eli Roth did. Did it warp the little boy? Perhaps it did, but in a good way, yes. So he grew up to become a director and producer and a writer and an actor for the most extreme, violent, horrific films. But at the same time, these films are not only extreme and horrific, but also rather funny and show his twisted sense of humour. I love that about Mr. Roth's films. And we have, for example, he became the first one that really got into prominence was called Cabin Fever, right? And it's about cabin in the woods, bunch of stupid kids, but they're not being slashed to bits by some sort of killing. No, it's a virus. It's a virus that gets them, and the flesh starts to melt off, and icky, blacky, skull teeth hanging out, all that nasty sort of looks like ground beef wearing clothes, that sort of thing. Nasty virus, contagious, and so sometimes people want to kill you to keep you from spreading it around, that sort of thing. Rather paranoia and extreme body horror, but at the same time, there's these wild hallucinations of people with bunny heads and and a little boy who's got an obsession with pancakes, and he'll bite you. Which is fun. And my favourite bit, it's a bit controversial, bit of controversy about this. It is an old redneck, and it's in this little shop out in the woods, basically. And the gay girl, they look around and think, "Geez, this guy's like, some kind of backwoods hillbilly racist, got a still in the backyard sort of crazy guy, probably thinks the South won the war type of lunatic." And then, you know, they're kind of joking around because they feel superior, because they're like college-educated city boys, right, and girls. And they see the old fart and they go, so, oh, yeah, what's that rifle above your bar for? And, you know, with a straight face, he goes, should I say the actual word? I don't want to offend anybody. Basically, he uses the N word. He says, it's for the... And they're going... And they're like, you know, they're offended as fuck because, my God, he just said it's for the niggers. He's going to shoot black people. He's waiting for an African American to come into the store, and he's just going to blow their brains up because he's that racist. And they're freaking out, but they don't want to freak out too much because he might just get violent and shoot them. Because, you know, this guy's like, oh my God, scary, backwoods racist, you know. Creepy's got the gun up over the... And they're panicking a little bit, and they just want to back out slowly from the shot, okay? That's what they're feeling. And what's funny is, at the end of the movie, after all kinds of blood and carnage and gore, and almost all of them are dead, if they're not already dead, all that, and infected, and all that horrible shit happens to them, we go back to the little shop, and a bunch of rapper types, you know, gangster types come in, and he looks up and sees them and turns around and gets the gun from the bar and he pulls it down and says, oh my God, it's going to be a war. And he says, here you are, my niggers. And yes, because he used the word not because he was a racist, but because he's so friendly, he's so totally accepted by black people that they don't even mind him using the word, though he's white. You know, there's that total acceptance that you can reach, where you can use the word in a familiar and friendly way with black people, which almost never happens. So don't try it, or they might get your ass kicked, and you deserve it too. So that's what was happening in that scene. It's like you realise, oh my God, and you all thought he was a racist, oh fuck, and in fact, you know, he's one of the bros. It's like, oh, okay. So that's what, it was really funny, actually. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw that one at the end of the movie. Not everybody thought it was all that funny, but for me it seemed hysterical. Hostel was his next big picture. Hostel. It's one of the pictures that define torture porn, although I don't really like that label, and I think he was maligned. I see Hostel also as very much a comedy. In fact, I see it as a sort of parody or companion film to Euro Trip. Especially you get the unedited version of Euro Trip, especially if it's got the outtake with Joanna Lumley when she talks about why that hostel in Amsterdam is the worst one in Amsterdam. You know, well, you know, he says, you may try to keep your valuables from being stolen by hiding them in your anus. However, this will not be successful. They will still steal your valuables, and they might enjoy it more. Something like that. I forget exactly what it was. But it's but there's lots. I mean, you can watch the two movies side by side, and point by point, there's a lot of things going on. You know, from the absent hallucinations to the weird man on the train to, you know, creepy hostel scenes in Amsterdam, scenes in Slovakia. There's enough parallels between the two. Someday do that for your double feature. Get both movies and get the unedited version, the one with all the naked dudes on the beach, and get that version of Euro Trip and watch that, and then immediately watch Hostel afterwards. You'll be like, especially if you're like, you know, then you can like really get both movies. Oh my God, it's like bookends. It should be quite fun, and then of course there's he also did a film called Knock Knock recently. I haven't seen that one. It was Hostel 2, of course, but Knock Knock, which has something to do with Keanu Reeves getting into all sorts of nasty trouble, and some girls come knocking at his door, and then Green Inferno, which I think is a remake of an old exploitation film about cannibalism and stuff in the jungle back from the 70s, which I haven't seen yet either, but it's on my list. I mean, there's lots of things I have to see, damn it. But I've liked what he's done. But he's also an actor. Got to point out, he's done some wonderful acting. There was a film called Clown, I think, interestingly enough, where he played a demonic figure called Frowny the Clown. But best role ever was in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, a war action adventure movie, which is a bit of a comedy as well. Tarantino was so audacious enough to rewrite World War II history and have them actually successfully kill Hitler in this assassination attempt. It's like, wait a minute, Hitler didn't die that way. He committed suicide in the bunker like years later. No, but they did it that way in this movie. Let's just kill him in the movie. I might make it a happy ending. And he played Donnie, was it Wahlberg? I forget what his last name was, but anyway, basically they called him the Bear Jew. He's like this big muscular guy. He's got, you know, these little trophies from all the Nazis he's killed hanging around his neck, and he's got a big baseball bat, and he loves nothing more in life. Now take a baseball bat and bash a Nazi's brains out, and, you know, just kill that German fuck right there, with dirty fascist Nazi bastard. That's basically what the Bear Jew loves. And he was the one that was instrumental at the end when they shot Hitler with a machine gun in the face, along with the other one. The guy who used to be on The Office. Anyway, that was Ed. No, not Ed. The other one, the cuter one. I forget his name. Anyway, never mind. But anyway, you've got this awesome character, and I was making a joke earlier. They have the HHN Bear. Now it can have the HHN Bear Jew. But understand, it's all meant in a positive way. But it's hysterical. I liked a great movie, actually. And I always like seeing people bash out Nazi brains. That makes sense. Not that they have a lot of them to begin with. But getting back to it, we've got Mr. Roth, and I want to give one more example of his roguish sense of humour. You ever seen a movie called Boogie Nights? You know, with Mark Wahlberg, and he's at the end of the movie, he shows himself his own penis in the mirror, so he reminds himself how big he is, because he plays this porn star, hung like a bear, basically big. Well, Eli Roth got a hold of a prosthetic similar to the one there, but not identical, and he posed in a magazine, showing him there lying on the thing, naked, and in his crotches what you think is his own penis, except it's not. It's a prosthetic like the one that Mark Wahlberg wore. And it's like, let's see, let's go back a bit. It's like, you know, it's enormous, you know, huge, mega schlong anaconda hanging down past the kneecaps. It's like, holy crap, you can't, that's not physically possible. It was just, and it's in a regular magazine, mind you, it's not in a porno. And it's like looking at this man, what the hell is this doing in this magazine? And you see this picture, it's like, holy crap. And it's like, you know it can't be real, because not only is it too big, but also, it's uncut. I mean, it's got this big, nasty aardvark foreskin thing. I mean, just nasty. And it's like, holy crap, this man cannot possibly be uncut, because his name is Eli Roth. You know, he's the Bear Jew. He's got to be, you know, kosher. So it's not legit. And so you laugh at, you know, it's meant as a joke, basically. It's hysterical. All right. So, in the movie, no, not a movie. So, Mr. Roth's twisted sense of humour is what I'm trying to get across here. So this is the man they're entrusting the terror tram to. And what has he come up with? Oh my goodness, this is going to be a long one, isn't it? That's alright, I can do long ones. What has he come up with for all the lovely people in California in the terror tram? Well, Mr. Roth also has a new project called Crypt TV. And he's been publicising it through Crypt TV. I'm not quite sure. I've looked at it for the first time yesterday. It seems to be a website where you can do some like streaming videos and see movies that are being made by new, young, upcoming filmmakers, you know, like student films and stuff. They're going to be big someday, but it's you know, a way of getting the horror film platform off, you know, for them off the ground. I think it's a noble effort. That's what I think it is. I might be off, but I didn't really get a chance to look too deeply at it. But it looks rather interesting. It's some sort of internet horror movie thing, but it's, you know, new, young, fresh people making films. That's what it looks to me is what they're doing. Well, he's using Crypt TV. They have a couple of videos on Crypt TV, or actually on their Facebook, which promoted this terror tram. They even had one out a few days ago before the reveal, if you knew where to look. That's why Murdy was saying, you know, something about hashtag Hollywood Harry. You know, who is Hollywood Harry? I won't tell. You should just keep looking. And some of the answers to what the terror tram was were already out several days ago, long before the big reveal yesterday. But Hollywood Harry is what it's about. So this is the strange, twisted backstory of Hollywood Harry. Seems that way back in the 1950s, there was a man named Harold Koodles. I think I got that right, Koodles? Harold Koodles. And he was a bit of a clown. I mean, literally, it was a clown. He was, you know, put on the wig and the big shoes and back nose, all of that. He was a happy clown. He was a good clown. Kids loved him, and he had a telly program for children on the air, and then he was popular, and he got hired by Universal Studios. See, back in the day, Universal Studios, there's only one of them back then. It was only in California, and it was an actual movie studio. It is today, but that's all it was a movie studio. No theme park. They didn't even have theme parks except for Disneyland when it opened in 1955, but it was a movie studio. That's all they did. They made movies, but since the early days, they did have people come to the studio and want to see what movie making's about, and they started, you know, charging a little bit to drive them around in a nice tram, show them the different lots and sets. You know, they had to be quiet if they went by some actual filming, but they were, you know, they never got them too close to that sort of thing. But they would show them some prop warehouses. Oh, look at all those neat props from other movies you might have seen. They would show them, you know, sound stages that weren't currently being used. Ooh, that's where they make the movies. Commissary, they can eat in the same room, and maybe there's someone semi-famous sitting, you know, over there. They couldn't quite go over and bother them, but they could sit there and see them. You know, they might show them a dressing room of a big star when it's not being used. You know, that sort of thing. And it was very exciting. Here's this museum of props that were. Look, it's the Maltese Falcon deer. Oh my God, that's bad. That sort of thing. And that was it. And basically, it was just sort of a tour of the studio lot. And it got a bit more elaborate as time went on. So he was allowed to show up and be a part of that. And so he would entertain kids. And yes, this is Koodles the Clown. That's what he called himself, Koodles the Clown. And he was on television and did a show for children. And he would pop up in this, and he almost became the unofficial mascot of Universal Studios in the backstage studio tour. Ha ha! Hello, kids. I'm Koodles. Lots of fun. But then, through the 60s and into the 70s, something began to change in the landscape of American imagination. Kids didn't appreciate a clown like they used to. They didn't laugh with delight and giggle with glee when they met a happy clown. They sort of were sorry. Oh, clown. I don't want to see a clown. Clowns scare me. Oh, no clown, please. No clown, please. No clown. Is it, what's wrong with these children? Clowns are suddenly becoming frightening. And they were portrayed in movies and television programs as violent, angry, the sad clown with the painted face smiling. You know, there was that guy on television, the Joker, and there was a real life case. Oh my God, what was that? What was that real life terrible case? That man John Wayne Gacy, who was a kids clown called Coco, did parties, but then for his extracurricular activities, he'd lure young boys over to his house and commit atrocities on them and leave them in the cellar where he had dozens of them buried. Got the biggest number of dead bodies of any serial killer as far as we know. We got one of the best body counts till they caught him and put him away and put him down. gave clowns a bad name. Gave clowns a bad name. More and more people thought of clowns as something sinister. And that Stephen King wrote that book, It. Oh, that was almost a death knell. Oh God, no one wants to see clowns anymore. They're scary. Ooh. So, Koodles was out of work. By the 70s even, he was out of work. They let him go. His show got cancelled. And he was despondent. He had no way of making a living anymore. No identity anymore. He put his whole self into being a clown for the children. Now what is he going to do? Now what is he going to do? What is he going to do? People are scared of clowns now. Maybe he should give them something to be scared of. We don't know exactly what happened, but Harold Koodowitz disappeared. Was never seen again. We don't know what happened, but there are strange reports throughout the 70s. You know, sometimes they have a pest problem on a movie studio backlot. You know, raccoons, possums, stray cats, dogs, coyotes, whatever you might have. And the problem started to decrease sharply about this time. There just weren't so many pests running around anymore. Where did these little critters go? Occasionally they find a little pile of bones somewhere. It's strange. How'd that happen? And then, more ominously, every once in a while, not very often, every once in a while, a team member, did they call them that back then, before it became a theme park? I don't know. People who used to drive the tram, that sort of, people who work for Universal Studios, would just sort of disappear in the back lot. And what happened to them? Do they just walk off the job and leave? Maybe. You know, there's a lot of people, every bartender and waitress in Hollywood, of course, is trying to get the job in the movies. Maybe, you know, maybe they got an audition and they thought, oh, I've got it made now, I don't have to go back to work. Who knows? All I know is that they didn't show up to work anymore. And very strange. So, of course, you know, that kind of place, a lot of turnover, you know, usually college kids, that sort of thing. You know? They always have people leaving, coming, leaving, coming. A few disappearances, not that big of a deal, didn't happen very often. And the strange things, of course, no one really saw anything weird. You know, the tram, the studio tour happens during the day. Except, of course, as time went on, the studios became a theme park. They started adding more and more attractions. And by the 80s, it was a full-blown theme park. And in 1986, they had a thing called Horror Nights, just for 3 nights. And for the first time, the studio back tour tram ran at night as part of the Terror Tram. And there was a strange incident there, a tragedy, really, horrible accident, though, accident. But then no one really saw anything too weird at the studio back tour, because after all, the only time it ever ran at night was when they had Horror Nights, and they didn't do it again until 92, and then after that not again until 97, 98, 99, 2000, and then many years later, 2006 they started up again. And so then from 2006 till now, but again, it was only at night during Horror Nights. And it wasn't too many nights, you know, even now it's not too many nights, nowhere near as many as in Orlando. And then that's the only time they ever ran that studio tour at night. And most of the time it's run during the day. There weren't too many incidents. But the thing about Horror Nights is if you have the Terror Tram going on, if you saw a sinister figure, you just assume it was a scare actor doing their scare. You know, if you saw something atrocious, you know, you saw somebody and blood and guts and horror, you know, drugged off into the bushes, you just assume it was being staged, you know, as part of the show. You wouldn't think that some demented evil clown was actually taking somebody, you know, you wouldn't think that. Until, of course, the summer of 2016, because that's when they started running the Terror Tram at night. Not for Horror Nights, but during the regular thing, and that's when people started seeing something strange. It was totally out of place. There's this creepy clown. His hair is all straggled, makeup's peeling off, scabby, kind of nasty sort of hobo clown with big coat, and it's all these name tags, all these name tags, all over the name tags, team member name tags. It's like he's been collecting them from team members that something happened to. There's blood on some of them. It almost looks real. Strange. And out there and roaming through the back lot. Now that the tram is going at night and it's not horror nights, you expect scary things, but this is not during horror nights. It's summer. This summer, it's like, who is that? And they just gave him a nickname. They called him Hollywood Harry. Did you see Hollywood Harry? And they started doing, they started taking videos and putting them on the internet. It became a little bit of an internet thing going this summer. It was Hollywood Harry. Who's Hollywood Harry? Well, now we know. It's Harold Koodles, and it's Koodles the clown. He's crazy. He's mad. He's out there. He's been living in the back lot for over 50 years, and he's out of his freaking mind, and he wants blood, and he's angry. And you know what? He's not alone anymore. Somehow, from all those videos online, other clowns who've gotten pissed off and dejected and fired from their circuses and don't know what to do about it, they said, yeah, let's go. And they've been going across the country to the Universal back lot, and they're forming an evil clown colony, basically, and they're getting ready for Horror Nights this year. It's going to be insane because they are going to come after everyone with chainsaws, with knives, with mallets, with all sorts of evil things. It is going to be completely bad. That's what was happening. This is the demented imagination of Eli Roth, and I find it very delightful. And sadly, I won't be able to get to Hollywood to see it, but we'll have quite a lot of wonderful things over here at Orlando, and perhaps some clowns of our own. With Chance, hey, we've got Chance. So, but hey, let's give all the kudos to Koodles and all the clowns over in Hollywood, especially those, and applaud Mr. Eli Roth. I'm looking forward to seeing videos about this, because people do video when they're on the Terror Tram and see what's happening. Sounds like a lot of fun. And I've over a half hour, so hope I did justice to this story, and I'll see you in a little bit. Got a cocktail for you in a minute. Yeah.